David Monson grows wheat, barley, and canola on 700 acres in Osnabrück, a little town in the northeast corner of North Dakota. But wheat has sometimes been a problem crop for farmers in recent years.
We were hit with a disease in our wheat called Fusarium head blight. When we got to harvest time, there was nothing in the heads, and we had never seen anything that bad before.
So Monson, who's also a Republican state legislator, wanted to help farmers find a way to switch to another cash crop. He happened to read about hemp.
It was talking about industrial hemp legislation being introduced in other states, including Minnesota and many other states, and it talked about how Canada was raising it now and how much profit they could make on it and all that.
One reason for the interest is that hemp is so versatile. There are more than 25,000 uses, ranging from food to fiber. It was part of our everyday lives for centuries. American farmers, including George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, grew hemp.
And in fact, in North Dakota, remnants of that activity are still evident today in what is called ditchweed today, which is nothing more than wildly growing industrial hemp. It was encouraged as part of the war effort because it was a strategic material.
Over the decades, hemp was looked at in a different way. The leaves are similar to the marijuana plant, so they're often confused. Both plants are from the species cannabis, but hemp contains virtually no THC, the active ingredient in pot. Still, it became illegal in the 1930s, only to have the ban relaxed briefly for military use during World War II. In the 1970s, it became classified as a restricted drug. But that didn't deter Dave Monson.
I said, if they can do it in Canada and England and Germany, all over the world, we should be able to do it too.
Just 25 miles over the border, Canada passed a law in 1997 becoming one of more than 24 countries allowing the licensed growing of industrial hemp. Manitoba produces nearly half of the 12,000 acres planted in Canada.
You can see here, Pat, I'll knock these seeds out into my hand.
Andrea Herman is with the Canadian Hemp Trade Alliance, an umbrella organization for the industry. She says her country's interest in the crop began in 1992, when a group in Ontario looked at successful cultivation efforts in Europe.
And some producers there and some governmental officials decided that this was an opportunity for Canada to recognize an industrial crop that could be grown on an agricultural basis, adding to crop rotation and crop diversity, and also product diversity.
How tall will they get when they're ready to harvest?
6 to 8 feet tall.
Kent Otway is one of those Canadian farmers to venture into hemp production.
Now, why did you want to start growing it?
Well, I guess we like to try new things a bit, and it was interesting, and the price was fairly decent for the product.
Farmers like Kent operate under strict government regulations that include a criminal background check before receiving a license. Currently, Canada grows 12,000 acres of hemp. You can see many plants right along the highways. It's an easy crop to grow, especially on land that's also good for wheat and corn. The crop is harvested at different times for different products. Seed products are picked by combine.
Most of the hemp grown in Canada is grown for hemp seed, which is then processed into oil and meal. The two largest plants are located right here in Manitoba.
Hemp Oil Canada's facility may be small, but it is North America's largest producer and processor of hemp, both fiber and oil for things like food, clothing, soaps, and paints.
We contract with farmers to produce hemp seed for us across the Canadian prairies. We then bring it in and process it here in St. Agath into hemp seed oil, hulled hemp seed or shelled hemp seed.
Some of the products, like the ones produced by Hemp Oil Canada, can be found in a variety of stores and specialty shops, like Hemp in the Heartland in Sacramento, California.
Kyle, it's amazing all of the things that use hemp.
Definitely. We carry clothing, food, paper products. Hemp yields something like 4 times more paper per acre than wood pulp, so it's an incredible alternative.
The U.S. is one of the biggest markets for hemp items. Dave Monson hopes one day to supply the crop. In 1999, North Dakota became the first state to legalize hemp cultivation. and Monson was the first to receive a state license. He still can't grow it, however, because the law also requires federal approval. So far, that hasn't happened, which means North Dakota farmers will keep up efforts to someday get the crop into their fields.
Hemp has played a role in world commerce for thousands of years. The plant was originally cultivated in China to make rope, as well as fish nets. Hemp was widely grown for use in paper making early in America's history. In fact, the Declaration of Independence is written on parchment containing hemp fibers.
It could be a multi-trillion-dollar industry had it kept going from the early days if it hadn't been outlawed because of its relationship to marijuana.
His dream is now one step closer to reality. A bill that would allow the growing of industrial hemp just passed the State Assembly Ag Committee. It would permit the growing of hemp as an 8-year pilot program in Kern, Kings, and San Joaquin counties. A number of law enforcement agencies are against the plan. They say growers can easily hide marijuana in hemp fields, bringing more crime to the area. Myers says this isn't the case.
You can't grow marijuana in a hemp field. It would get pollinated by the male plants and would cease to produce the THC, or well, it wouldn't produce it at all.
Sheriff's offices in Kings, Kern, and San Joaquin counties didn't want to comment on the issue at this time.
There's no doubt in Wayne Haugie's mind. Hemp should be a crop that is part of North Dakota's future.
We've been growing peas and lentils, chickpeas, various other types of crops over the years. And I think hemp will certainly be a nice rotational crop. It would fit in well.
He feels so strongly about it, mainly because of the potential he sees in it. Everything in front of him, samples he requested, is made from hemp.
Much to my surprise, about 3 weeks ago, I received 3 boxes in the mail. 3 really big boxes of various products from manufacturers across the entire United States.
There were others we could have shown you, but
unfortunately, I can't provide you a lot of samples because these products taste too good. And I've eaten an awful lot of these.
Oils, lotions, food, milk-like products, and more, all made from hemp.
The silk and hemp is extremely soft, very pretty looking. I can see some gal in about 3 years making a prom dress out of this stuff.
But for that to happen in North Dakota, the federal government's stance on the crop must change. A lawsuit brought against the feds was recently tossed out, and North Dakota's congressional delegation has decided not to pursue it in Congress. But Haugie still continues his push, looking to generate support.
Hopefully at some point there will be a sufficient demand, not only in North Dakota, but in other states, across the entire United States, to a point where we can join the rest of the industrialized world and start growing some of these products.
And he hopes North Dakota is a key player in doing just that.
So that's my goal, I guess, just to get area persons thinking about it.